Let's start with an obvious statement. We live in a post-MMA world. We live in a post-BJJ world. We live in a world where martial arts conflict is completely different than it was when many of us were kids. Not in the sense that these are new things, because they're really not. But as far as what the culture of martial arts is and has been, things have changed. One of the major things that has changed is people don't just sit in one style anymore. And I honestly think that really has never been the case, not on purpose. If you look through, some of the historical Chinese martial arts, people didn't necessarily go style hopping, but mixing styles was actually fairly common, and a lot of styles came from a synthesis of previous styles. And if you look at the martial arts, like in the HEMA world, a lot of that stuff was, I was fighting Germans and so I picked up some of their techniques, and I was fighting Portuguese and I picked up some of their techniques. If you look at Pedro Monte's work, he talks about how different countries go about their wrestling differently. And that's from 1410. I mean, he died in 1409. It was published posthumously. But the point is, that was from the early 1400s. And the thing is that because of warfare and because the Middle Ages were coming to a close and the Renaissance was starting to kick off, you have this kind of change in technology, change in culture, and because of the previous empires and whatnot, you had a lot of intermingling of different cultures and stuff, and styles were bound to propagate together. That being said, a lot of people have been content to train under one teacher and just be a lifer in an art, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with somebody just doing one art. The question is that going to be enough? And the truth is, I honestly think, to a degree, that it's possible that it can be. In one sense. One, you have to understand your art well enough to go beyond the formal historical blueprint that you've been given. You have to understand it at a conceptual and principle level. And you also have to understand what other people are going to be throwing at you. And that's kind of what makes this a hard subject to talk about, because how do you understand what you're looking at? How do you understand how to defeat something if you haven't trained it? That's a hard thing. And potentially you can do that. Potentially, you can do that by fighting and testing the waters. But the fact is that for the most part, in order to understand something, you're going to have to at least dabble in it well enough so that you can train your own art to fight against it. And this is why so many people end up just training multiple arts. They're like, my kickboxing was great, but I need to learn some grappling, whatever, right? In the United States, people have been boxing and wrestling for about as long as boxing and wrestling have been available. You had some kind of grappling and you had some kind of striking, and it may not cover all the bases, but it covered a pretty good swath that made you pretty okay, right? And again, Chinese martial arts, pretty amalgamated. And you look at some of the other available stuff that has come around historically, and it's been much of the same. A lot of people have done knowledge trades and shares for a long time. So again, we come back to the idea of, is training in one art going to be enough? And I would say it can be if you train smart and if you learn how to take those problem-solving tools and apply them to problems that your art had not previously tried to solve for without breaking the art. That's exactly what Jeff Speakman tried to do with Kempo 5.0. I have no idea how successful he's been with it, but kudos to him for trying. So I'll leave you with that, something to think about, right? Don't be afraid to really explore your art all the way to the margins. And I will talk to you later. Good journey. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Check us out on our other socials, and please head over to blacksunboxing.com to get a little more info, including how to contact us. Furthermore, if you are in the Phoenix area, please feel free to stop in, say hi, join in for a class, whatever. Also, if you ever see us cite sources or just for additional content, please check out our Substack. That is where we put all of the sources we use in our videos and is a major part of this. Plus, it serves as a membership platform for long distance learning and for people who would like to support us but aren't local. We would greatly appreciate it if you signed up. Even just the free membership helps us out a lot. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Good journey.